Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. Today we're going to be covering the new Teen Titans team. You see, after the events of DC Metal and after the events of the last Teen Titans storyline, in which Beast Boy went evil, the Teen Titans are not really a team anymore. And that means that Damian needs to go find himself a new team. A new Teen Titans. Enjoy. With the events that happened during No Justice, many of Earth's heroes confided in themselves to try and piece together what had happened. For Damian Wayne, that meant going to the Lebanese restaurant Tarbooshes to have some oxblood soup. As Urza sets the bowl down, she tells Damian that they have not seen him in a while, and Damian says that he was out of town. Urza rubs his shoulder, telling him that they missed him, but nevertheless welcome back home. Damian looks down into the bowl of soup and thinks back to when his mother Talia used to make this often for him growing up. Tarbooshes makes it just like she did. This is really the only place that he can somewhat feel at home. Just before Damian begins to eat, he notices a group of shady thugs walk in, and a panicked look comes over Cook Ismail's face. Ismail tries to grab what money he has in the register, but that's not enough, and the men take him into the back. Damian watches, thinking that with no one to protect them as immigrants, they would have no choice but to pay that protection money, but today, that's going to change. In the kitchen, one of the thugs grabs Ismail, and Ismail yells business has been slow, they can barely stay open. The thug holding Ismail tells him that that's not really their problem, and Damian jumps down behind him, telling him, spoken like a true dirtbag. Before the thugs have a chance to react, Damian grabs one of the pots off the burners and throws the scalding hot soup onto them. Damian whips back, throwing the pot into another man, telling him, don't worry, I have some left for you too. As Damian looks back, he notices smoke, and the remaining thug runs off shooting at him. Damian charges forward, kicking the gunman, and that's when he notices that the smoke is coming from a fire that has been set on a pile of cans containing grease. Seconds later, the restaurant explodes, and even though Urzu managed to get the kids out, Ismail himself wasn't as fortunate. Ismail's sacrifice will not be in vain. Someone will pay for this. A few moments later, the thug who has the hot soup thrown on him wakes up hanging upside down on the side of a building. Damian tells the man that he's not sure how much longer he can hold on to him. And the man shouts, I'll tell you everything, I'm working for Black Mask. Damian tells him, that's impossible. Black Mask is doing time in Arkham. The man shouts back, no! His lawyers got him out on a technicality. Black Mask is bigger than the law. In that moment, something snapped in Damian. He let go of the wire. Maybe it was him still reeling from watching an entire planet be destroyed. Or maybe he just realized his true purpose in life. The man screams to please help him, but just before the man hits the ground, he's stopped. Later, over at the Gotham bathhouse, Black Mask relaxes in a sauna, and then he hears a voice call out to him. He looks back and sees Damian asking him, what is this? The Bat sending in the junior squad now? Damian tells him, this has nothing to do with Batman, and everything to do with the Lebanese family just trying to live an American life. Black Mask laughs, telling him, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Unless you got a suicide wish, you better leave before my boys come in and mess you up. Damian tells him, I'm not sure about them. I already gave them the night off. Black Mask reaches for his gun, telling him, it's your lucky day then. It's been a while since I got my hands dirty. As Black Mask leans over, he grabs nothing, and then there's a ch-chick. Black Mask looks back to see Damian holding the gun, and he tells him, Batman doesn't use guns. Damian stares at Black Mask right in the eyes, and he tells him, I'm not Batman, and a single shot is fired. But over with another member of the new Teen Titans, and the Chinchuli Garden and Glass Museum in Seattle, Amiko. The self-proclaimed Red Arrow is kicked out a window and onto the ground. She rolls to avoid being hit with a set of arrows, and she thinks to herself, she's got some real mommy issues. The problem is, when they fight, people die. She pulls back on her bow, aimed at her mother Shadow, and tells her to just walk away. Shadow says that she knows that she can't do that, and Amiko tells her that she will have to take her down then. Shadow holds her arrows pointed at Amiko and says, that worked so well for you in the past. Green arrows made you soft. Amiko releases the arrow and Shadow easily dodges out of the way. She grabs another 2 arrows and shoots all 3 down into the lower levels of the building. The arrows break through the glass and Amiko jumps down into the lower floor, shooting the rope, holding a banner, allowing it to fall. The falling glass is caught by the banner, and Amiko knows that the next time she faces her mother, someone is going to get hurt badly. The next night, Amiko dresses up to attend the Seattle Global Exchange Conference on a lead that Shadow's next target will be there. A few days prior, a Chinese diplomat and Australian banker suffered fatal heart attacks. Both were politically well connected, and 2 seemingly random people having heart attacks when they were in perfect health, well, it seemed rather odd. It's later discovered that both of them had small cuts caused by an arrow containing a toxin. There's only one person who could use that kind of poison: Shadow. Tonight will be the night to stop Shadow, but not with arrows. Words. Amiko steps out onto the balcony where Shadow is, and Shadow asks if she's ever told her the story of her great-grandmother. Amiko says that she told her very little of their family. What does that have to do with anything? Shadow says that Kazumi Adachi was considered the most beautiful woman in all of Japan. Though she was already married and a mother, she caught the eye of the emperor and became his mistress. The emperor loved her so much that when the time for war came, he sent her far away to save her. As Adachi longs to be reunited with her husband and child, she returned to a port city called Hiroshima. On that day, the most beautiful woman in all of Japan was wiped from this earth. This story is not told to be sentimental. It says how being sentimental will get you killed. Amiko says that she already knows who the next target is. The woman is a mother of 3. She's innocent. And Shadow sighs, telling her that she's heard nothing of what she just said. All she has done is brought death into this world until she had her. She loved her daughter like nothing ever before. Shadow hugs Amiko, and after a few moments, Amiko hugs back. Shadow leans back and says that she'll have to make a choice, and she has chosen herself. Goodbye, Amiko. Amiko feels something in her neck, and Shadow holds out an arrowhead with the same poison that killed the 2 officials. She tosses the arrow back, telling Amiko to make sure that she sends her love to Adachi. Amiko grabs the arrowhead and she starts to run to the back, but the poison begins to set in faster than expected. She collapses trying to catch her breath, and she tells herself that she refuses to die like this. She takes the arrowhead, jamming it into a power outlet, shocking her system to stop it from shutting down. She slowly picks herself up and says that she already knows before looking at the outcome. Her mother finished her job and broke her heart. No more second chances, ever again. Over with yet another of the new Teen Titans. Kid Flash Wallace West walks down the Santa Monica beach thinking to himself that he's always dreamed of coming to Cali to walk along the shore. It looks so cool in the movies. So here he is. If you could run faster than the speed of light, why not go places that he's always wanted to go? As Wallace skips a rock across the water, he hears an explosion going off in the distance. But before the sound can even fade, Wallace runs over to the pier to find out where it came from. However, what he finds is the people that he was least expecting. The Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn and El Diablo. Harley is also dragging a woman bound in chains. Harley says, "Oh, would you look at that, the itty-bitty Flash!" And Wallace shouts, asking, "What are you doing to that woman?" The woman screams for help, telling him that these people are crazy. And Harley tells her, "Oh, no, I'm crazy. El Diablo's just dangerous." Wallace quickly runs in, grabbing the woman and freeing her. And Harley asks, "Why would you go and do something like that?" El Diablo yells, "El Stupido," and he begins throwing fireballs at Wallace. As Wallace dodges the first, he's hit by the second, and Harley asks El Diablo if he could be a deer and go fetch their prisoner. El Diablo picks up the chain, asking, "Why am I always the one who has to chase him down?" Harley tells him it's because she's wearing platform boots and is carrying around a really inefficient but super badass 30-pound mallet. Harley then looks at Wallace and says, "Listen up, politically correct Flash. I've got a job to do. Leave Miss Harley to her business." Wallace gets up before Harley can hit him, telling him, "You know all about the Suicide Squad. Amanda Waller's our boss." And Harley shouts, "Fake news, no such thing!" She then pulls out her knife and swings, telling Wallace that he needs to stand still for a second while I stab you. Wallace stops and grabs Harley by the wrist, and then using her free hand, Harley pulls out a gun, putting it to his neck. Before she can pull the trigger, El Diablo calls out that they have a problem. As both Wallace and Harley look back, they see the woman from before is now glowing. Harley says, "Well, that doesn't look good." And a second later, the woman explodes. Wallace quickly runs and moves all of the people back far enough to avoid being caught in the explosion. On the other side, Wally West, the red-headed one, runs in telling everyone that he would greatly appreciate it if they all moved back for now. Harley hands Wally her phone, stating that there's papers from the boss lady. He knows the deal. "You want to tell the kid how it works?" Wallace tells her, "Yeah, right. You must be dreaming if you think that we're going to..." But Wally, the Flash, stops him as he scrolls to the phone, telling Wallace to stand down. Things aren't always so black and white. Harley swipes her phone back, telling him, "Right, well, we need to be going." And she slaps Wally on the butt, telling him, "Not a lot of men can pull off spandex. Way to keep it tight. If you ever want to get crazy, just give me a ring-a-ding." Wallace stares and asks what just happened, and Wally tells him that they'll talk. Just not here. Later that night, Wally takes Wallace out to eat, and he tells him, "Look, I don't like the idea of the squad any more than you do, but for now, Barry says they get a pass. What the League says goes." Wallace says, "Heaven forbid anyone disagree with the almighty Justice League. Maybe you forgot, but the squad killed my father and my uncle? So why aren't you more upset about a bunch of renegade criminals running around with the government immunity?" Wally tells him it's because he's old enough to understand that he doesn't know everything, and there's a lot of gray in what they do. Trust him on this. Barry would do the same. Wallace throws his napkin on the table, and Wally calls the waitress over to order dessert, stating that his cousin here will have a serving of humble pie. Wallace stands up, telling him that was corny as hell, and Wally tells him that he's a kid. He needs to accept that there's room for improvement and he's got a lot to learn. Wallace snaps, telling him, "It's not what I gotta learn that I'm questioning, it's the people who are trying to teach me." As the two leave the restaurant, Wally asks, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" And Wallace tells him, "Barry, the Justice League, they're all high and mighty and so full of it, compromising their own values to let people like the Suicide Squad walk around." Wally says, "Whoa, how about a little respect?" And Wallace tells him, "Sure, when he's earned it." Wally stops and tells him, "Look, one day you're gonna be an adult, and you'll get to make the rules, but for now, you're gonna have to trust and follow our leads." Wallace takes off, telling him that that's where he's wrong. He's done compromising, and he's not asking for permission. As Wallace heads back to the pier, he thinks working with Damian did have some benefits, like knowing when to place a tracker on El Diablo before leaving. Now all he has to do is follow that signal and get the girl away so that she can have a chance at rehabilitation. As he steps onto a boat where the signal's coming from, he quickly realizes that Harley and El Diablo weren't trying to recruit the girl. It was a hint. Wallace looks at all the blood on the ground and he sees a note left in the fridge stating, "You dropped this! XOXO, Harley!" And below it, Wallace's tracker. He grabs the piece of paper, telling himself that he's done listening to the grown-ups. From here on out, he's doing his own thing. And if anyone gets in his way, they're gonna be sorry. But meanwhile, back with our Robin, the guy who's going to be putting this together. In Gotham, Damian looks down at Urza and her family, thinking that starting over was never easy. But it's a necessity to survive. It's not about getting another chance, it's what you do with it. Damian reaches back, grabbing his grappling hook, and he fires it, stating that he's seen a way to do this whole hero thing better than his father and his friends. And he can't do it alone. He needs his own team. Not Grayson's hand-me-downs, powerhouses. Ones that are moldable and not so hung up on the rules. It's said that the children are the future, and the future is right now. Once these new Teen Titans are put together, there's gonna be hell to pay. And there you have it, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I am really on board with this. Damian finally turning to a darker side, Amico finally being in like a normal book in the DC continuity, and Kid Flash coming back with a new name, Wallace West, so I don't have to confuse the hell out of them by calling them both Wally and calling one Wally Redhead. It's just confusing. It fixes it all. I'm on board. I hope you guys are as well. Let me know by giving this video a like. Benny, I want the next story for Teen Titans. You need to tell me what's happening to the Teen Titans. And on that note, I'm gonna go watch Teen Titans Go.